So it's time for another video, and we're gonna try to build the ultimate non-M5, well, because of the engine, BMW F10. I always wanted to see what can top spec diesel BMW look like. This is not a 550, this is not a 530i, this is a 530 xDrive 2014, and this is what we would call our donor car. So let's go over what is here, because this is practically maxed out, and then let's talk about what do we plan to do to make it the perfect museum ready type of a vehicle, because I really like this generation of BMWs, and I would prefer to keep this car for as long as I can, and just keep throwing money at it until it makes me broke. So let's start with the interior. What do we got in this car so far? We have full set of climate seats. So we have seat heating, seat ventilation. We have 4-zone climate control. Or actually, is it 3-zone? No, it's 4-zone. So there is a little bit more info for the back seats. We don't have the rear bench seat heaters, and this is something we will add as an option. We do have full Bang & Olufsen sound system, and I made another video about it. We do have massaged and electrically regulated memory seats, comfort seats naturally. These actually aren't that comfort, to be honest. Like sport seats in the BMW are more comfortable because they have thicker padding, and they have a little bit longer cushion here, and they go a bit lower, so you have a bit better support here under the knees, so it goes a little bit higher like this, because your bum goes a little bit lower. So comfort seats are actually, they have thinner padding because of the ventilation and massage, because they have to put more stuff in the actual seat. They're heavier. They steal some room from the back seat, because I mean, this car on the back is the same size as 3 Series. So if somebody tells you that F10 is a big sedan, it's not a big sedan. Like if you look where I'm sitting, I'm basically sitting at the pillar, and I'm like 5'10", like 178, in a normal driving position, and I can fit behind me, but it's not going to be a very comfortable long ride. So let's continue. This car already has the original M Sport wheel, which I think is the best looking wheel out there. It has the pedal shifters, it has adaptive cruise control. It's not an active steering because it's not electric, because it's xDrive. It has heating, it has electric adjustments. We do have, what I really love about this car, that we do have all of the buttons here, so none of the blank spots. We have blind spot assist, we have I think this basically prevents you from collision if you're driving too fast towards something stationary or something that goes slower than you. Lane assist, completely useless in an F10 because it just vibrates the wheel and doesn't do anything else. Night vision and head-up display. Night vision we will have with pedestrian spotlights. I'll show you them from the outside, because as you can see, we don't have fog lights in front. We only have fog lights in the rear. We have adaptive LEDs, so automatic high beams. We do have head-up display. I'm not sure if it's gonna focus on it, but there you go. Amazing feature, especially with the built-in navigation. And we do have the sunroof. We do not have sunshades, so that's something we're gonna install as well. And what else don't we have in this car? We don't have ceramic controls. Those look amazing, and that is something I would like to install. And we don't have one option that is not that important, but it's handy when the time comes. So in some cars, usually in 7 Series, you have another button here which allows you to control the passenger seat. So that's very handy if you have a family and if you have a kid in the back, and you need to move this seat here, because BMWs are very wide. So me, like, reaching there, it's very hard, especially if I'm driving. That's impossible. So having the button here allows you basically to control that seat, and that's a pretty cool option. What else don't we have? I think I did mention everything. We have of course adaptive damping, adaptive transmission and engine, so we have all the modes. that you may want to have. We have Eco, we have Comfort Plus, we have Comfort. I don't see any difference between them. We have Sport, and we have the Sport Plus. So we have all of them. We have no leaks, which is surprisingly good for active damping and active suspension. Yeah, all else, I think this is stationary, like in terms of not stationary, but let's call it common layout. One thing I already replaced, and I don't know if you know about this, but in the pre-LCI versions, these cup holders, they were like this. This is actually a pre-LCI because I had it in my garage. In the LCI versions, they go like this, and they're a little bit more shallow, and it's not very easy to put anything in there because they basically slide in and out, whereas the LCI versions, they stick like this, and it's actually much easier to put anything here than in the LCI versions. At least, I mean, had the LCI version, my previous car had LCI version, and these are much better, and they're a little bit easier to fix because this starts rattling after some time. So they have a little bit more room to play with, so you could actually use some extra padding and make sure that these don't make any noises. Now let's go into what we will add to this car. So from interior first, we will most likely redo the leather on the steering wheel if I find a company in Finland that can do it for less than half the price of this car. We will replace the interior completely. I am really looking into finding the mocha brown leather seats with the leather dash, which is almost impossible to find with the massage seats. I mean, I found few sets with seat ventilation, seat heating, but I do want to keep the massage option because it's a very rare option in these cars. And again, we are building this to be an ultimate BMW F10, which means it has to have all of the options available, or as much as we can possibly include, because this black interior, it looks boring and it looks cheap in my opinion. So brown interior ideally, or as an option I would go for the interior from the M5 F10 if I can find one with massage seats, but again, not black. So definitely try to find maybe beige or brown, but 100% leather dashboard. We will replace these when I find them to the ceramic control. So the shifter, the climate control, the volume, and the wheel. Ideally, I want to replace this with the NBT Evo. This is an NBT system. There is a way to replace this with NBT Evo. It's a little bit of work. I don't think I will be able to do it myself. I probably have to find someone who's done it before, but I know there is a way to basically make this look stock as it is now. Just use the screen from the NBT Evo and put it here, because that would also give me a much better head-up display. So I'll have to replace the head-up unit and potentially the CAFAS camera system here. I'm not sure about this one. If you have done it before, you can correct me whether I need to replace the CAFAS for NBT Evo. I don't know if they use CAFAS 3 or CAFAS 2. This is a CAFAS 2. So that would give me touchscreen. It would give me better head-up display. It looks better. It has more info. It has Apple CarPlay. It's not like I need it, but again, building an ultimate car. NBT Evo came in 2017. I know that in the very last models of BMW F10, you actually could get an NBT Evo. And this being from 2014, naturally couldn't have it. We will replace all of the rear door panels with the ones that have curtains. I actually already found a few, and now I just need to order them. I want to put the original curtain back there because it's a very nice thing to have. It protects you from the rear lights. I mean, whoever's driving behind you, especially trucks, these curtains are working amazing. This car is tinted, like it has factory tint on the rear half, but it's not enough. And yeah, and we're gonna put the seat heating in the bench. So that's the things we're gonna do to this car. On the inside, naturally I would have to replace this control panel because it has to include the button that allows the rear curtain to go up. I don't need the buttons for the doors because doors are manual, but the shelf curtain, you have to have a button for it. And now let's go check out what we have to do on the outside to this car to make it perfect BMW. Best F10 the world has ever seen. So, luckily, we have a very good place to start with. We have 360 cameras. We have cameras in the mirrors. They're actually 270. They don't have a front camera, so not really a 360. We do have adaptive LEDs. I will polish these headlights and recoat them. This is the system I was talking about. This actually lights up the pedestrians and animals. There is a video about how it works. I will put it here. It's a pretty cool feature. It works whenever it wants. I don't really understand the algorithm of how and when it decides to light somebody up or not. But we have what we have. As I said, we have adaptive cruise control, night vision camera. We have factory tinted front windshield, and we're gonna replace this in a month. I already put an order on the new windshield because this one is quite old. These are, if you ever wondered, style 345 wheels. They came original on BMW M5, and I bought it from an M5 F10. They're very rare. There are lots of replicas of these wheels. The replicas usually have the same width, front and rear. The originals, the rears are a bit wider. If you ever wondered, because stock they come with 295 tires width. These are 275s. These are Pilot Sports 4S. Very nice tire. Not the most quiet one, to be honest. The front I have Primacy, Michelin Primacy 4, I think, or 3. It's a 3, yes, but they will be replaced with most likely Pilot Sport 5s next summer, and these wheels I'm keeping. This car has upgraded rear wheels, not rear wheels, rear brakes. It has what's called, like in Europe, in Finland, this is called like a sports braking system. It's the same brakes that came stock on I think on 550D, and then on 535i and 550i, I think they came stock. Again, in different countries they had different packages, but at least that's what I was able to find. So yeah, we got that. We have comfort access. We have suction doors. Amazing feature if you have a family. If you have kids, you don't have to slam the door. You basically, if your kid is sleeping, you just do this and the door is in. So that's nice. I will replace all the handles with the Chinese ones from AliExpress because the originals ones are crap. They cost approximately 400 euros, between 300 and 400, and I already got one replaced on the rear right door, because this is the door that always breaks. And there is one way to check, if these are going bad. I will put up a video here of how to do it, because I had it on this specific car, and this was done at a dealer's expense because we agreed that they will replace it when I was buying the car. So the Chinese ones, from what I know, and a lot of people who bought them, they function way better, and you can buy like 4 of them for 150 euros. So I'll replace all 4. This car does have electronic tailgate, also an amazing feature. Also easy to check. If you have a button right here, this one, this means you have an electronic tailgate. Again, some people think BMWs are just for show. For me, this is a perfect family car, almost perfect. This has a tiny trunk compared to everything else because of these arches and this beam. you can't really put anything tall in there. So two of my Samsonite suitcases that would fit perfectly fine in a Golf, like flat, they would not fit here because of the widths of the trunk, and then the height of the trunk. You can't really put them all the way to the back seat if you put them sideways, because again, this thing is in the way. So that's that. We have retractable rear bench. We have, of course, all of these, like locking the car. We have actually, if you have the comfort access seats or doors, you always have this feature available to you. I probably used it 5 times in a year, but those 5 times I really enjoyed it because I had my hands full. So we're gonna keep the wheels, we're gonna polish the car, detail it perfectly, well, to the extent that I can do it, and then we're gonna try to find an M Sport original front rear bumpers, skirts. I will keep these wheels because these, in my opinion, are the best wheels for this car. They just look super elegant and aggressive at the same time. So if I stand here so you see the car a little bit better, I think this is the perfect wheel set for the car. There are a few others that I'll put some pictures of what I'm considering as well, but those are mostly for my winter tires, I think. And yeah, as you can see, this half is tinted, so not much to do here. And this is basically where we start. So every upgrade I will do, I will try to make a video of it to show you how it's done, what you can do yourself, where you need professional help. I think when it comes to electronics, we're gonna need professional help. We will replace the chain on this engine. We will replace most likely the front drive shaft. I will try to find if there are available drive shafts that have a little bit more capacity than the stock ones, because they go bad if you drive hard. I never launched this car, but I enjoy being able to, use the power available to me. We will clean the engine block completely from all of the years of grime that it's collected. This car has EGR coolant replaced. It still has okay cats. I will not remove them. Again, I'm not making this into a tuned version of this car. I want to make this, as good as it could have been out of the conveyor at the factory. And we're gonna use potentially the Stage 3 XHP software for the gearbox to make it a little bit smoother, because again, all software on the gearbox, not the best. I had a chance to use that software on my previous car, and it was great. And maybe, just maybe, the only thing that would not be, well, outside of course of the gearbox software, but that's not changing anything dramatically. A few things that I might change is I might refurbish the turbo with modern components. There is a company that does these turbos. I don't remember the name. I'll put up a name here, and like how their turbos look. They make these very nice turbos. They increase their power a little bit, use modern components from your original stock turbo, and I may put a Stage 1 on this car to get it to 310 horsepower. So now it's 265. I don't know how much time it takes to get from 0 to 60, to be honest, or 100 kilometers per hour. As I said, I never launched the car. I'm not one of the people who is racing from the lights, but I do enjoy having a lot of power for overtaking on highways. So I want those 300 horsepower. I'm pretty sure it's going to be enough. I mean, I don't feel the lack of power on this car either, but it's just nice to have a little bit more kick, a little bit more torque, because I really love the feeling of the torque on these engines. And there is a reason I didn't buy the 550D or 535. 535 has a very tricky small turbo. I had a 525 before with an N47 engine with a small turbo, and when those go bad, I mean, it's almost the same price of replacing them as a big turbo, and they don't really add too much to your overall engine feel, and it just creates more hassle and takes room under the hood, which again makes this car a little bit less serviceable. 550D, extremely rare car in Finland to have the options similar to what I've showed you so far. So If you can find a 550D with all of these, I mean, amazing. But again, 550Ds have much more expensive maintenance costs because they have different components in the engines. Yes, this is an N57 engine. It has a problem with bearings as far as I remember, and some engines go bad, and this may go bad as well. I mean, there is no way to say when this may happen. It may happen at 50,000 kilometers or 300,000 kilometers. This car has, I think, 235. So I am also considering in the future that I will simply swap the engine if I can find a nice engine with small mileage. Just swap the engine altogether. But we will see. That's for the future, like far in the future. I don't plan to do it anytime soon. And yes, I think then we will have most likely the fanciest F10 in Europe, maybe in the world, if I'm able to pull off all of these options and put them in this car. Maybe not the fanciest, but definitely one of the, and it's definitely gonna be one of the fanciest on YouTube, without any Chinese LED lights that were never part of this car. I mean, Android screens and all that. So the only thing that I'm considering Chinese on this car is the door handles, simply because the original ones are crap, and that's it. So if you want to see this going further, leave a comment, tell me what I missed, if there are any other options I missed. I know that I missed the black headliner. I don't like black headliners, so I'm not going to install that. Makes the car looks much smaller from the inside. And I know I missed the rear turning wheels, but they are not available on xDrive, so that's again no go for this car. Other than that, if I missed something that you think should be part of this option list, let me know in the comments. I may miss some things. And subscribe. I will try to pull this off within the next months. I mean, not all of it, of course. It's gonna be a hell of a cost. I think it would be cheaper for me to buy 2-year-old G30 than to put all of these options in an F10. But again, I like how this car looks. I would really like to keep this and maybe make a wrap in the end, some dark green wrap on this car. I think would look sick. But yeah, stay tuned. I will be uploading videos as we go, and we still have some maintenance to do on this car. It just came out of the paint shop actually by BMW, because these doors did rust. I mean, there was no rust through and through, but there was some rust under the paint. For those of you who think BMWs don't rust, I'll put up a video here of how it looked like. And now, when 3 doors are painted, it makes my job a little bit easier with detailing, because I have 1/3 of the car less to detail and polish before we can actually take care of everything else. So, see you in the next ones, and have a great day. There was actually a comment recently on my previous video about what to look for in a 2-liter BMW, where I was talking about these things, and I was told that aluminum doesn't rust. Well, surprise, surprise, because this specific car does. Here and here.